the car accident. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Hey, welcome to Chatterbox number 86, tried and true. See if I remember correctly. The info for this one I put down. If it ain't broke, fuck with it till it's broke, or something like that. That was the intention anyway. Yeah, so Engelhardt may or may not join us this evening. I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll have plenty of fun and interesting stories about his car accident when he finally manages to get that all figured out.
Right. Yeah, we got to let him know when he gets back that, if he doesn't want to do the show, he doesn't, that's fine. He doesn't have to get in fucking car accidents to get out of it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, really, seriously, that's a fair point, man. Like, you don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
I mean, use your girlfriend's makeup to make it look like you got in a fight or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, give yourself a fake black eye or whatever.
Tell us that the kids beat you up at school for for watching or for being on the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be kind of sad. Oh, so you put in a whole new fucking turtle pond. That actually sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, you would think so, but it's not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, so yeah, we got a like a prefab, like a hard plastic pond thing or whatever, and it's a 125 gallon pond, so it's a decent size. Definitely better than what they're used to, which is just a fucking, a tiny little play pool. That's like basically about 3 feet across, and only about maybe 6 inches high. Not even 6 inches.
In my head, I thought you were talking about like a big glass tank.
Oh, no, this is outside. This is in the yard.
That's kind of cool. So you actually just put like a whole new pond in your backyard.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so it's not like just a hole or whatever. So like I said, there is actually a prefab, actual pond thing. So yeah, it was a fucking pain. Well, it wasn't a huge pain in the ass, but you're essentially moving, 125 gallons worth of fucking dirt, to make room for the fucking thing. And then it's not like round, like it's got like on either side, it's got like little shelves that come up, like they're shallower than the rest of it. I think the middle part is like I think it says 18 inches, but that can't be right. It's got to be deeper than that. But anyways, it's it's got the two little kind of nubs on each side that are shallower, and then goes down to the deep part. So you got to dig a hole that's that fucking shape. Which it's, dude, I don't know how many fucking times. I don't know how many times we put that goddamn thing in there, thinking, okay, this has got to be it. Like, okay, this is it's gonna fit now. It's gonna fit. It's gonna be fucking great. I would guess roughly 80 times.
Oh yeah,
we did that, and we're like, damn it, something's still fucking hitting somewhere. Where the hell is it touching? So then we're like shaving off this section because okay, it's touching here. So, but yeah, it finally got that fucker in tonight, and kind of threw the turtles in, and they were freaking out. Yeah, because like I didn't fill it up all the way because we haven't put up a fence around it or any of that shit. Because eventually we want them to be able to actually get up out of the pond and walk around on the dirt. So we got to put a fence around it. So I filled it up just to where those two little shelves are, so they can get up out of the water, but they can't really get out of the thing. Like they're not close enough to the top there to be able to get out.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because like the two younger ones, didn't really understand the concept, I guess, because both of them went off sideways and just kind of plumped down into the fucking deeper water. And then like the older one, the one that we've had, because the two younger ones we just got for him on Christmas. But the older one, yeah, he was fine. He was like, goes up to the edge, waits for a second, and then goes in like straight in. But it was kind of funny to watch the other ones just kind of plunk down, just boom.
Oh, Stenchover's in the chat. Hey, Stenchover, he wanted to know what kind of turtles.
Yeah, I should know the answer to that. Yeah, the
Turtle kind.
yeah, the aquatic kind. No, they're the ones that have like the red and yellow stripes, like on the sides of their head. Fuck, I know I've known the name in the past, but I cannot fucking think of it, dude.
It's not like a box turtle or something, is it?
Yeah, it could be. I know I thought we used to, back east, I thought we used to call them like painted box turtles or something like that, but that's probably not right. Yeah, shit. Yeah, I cannot think of the goddamn name to fucking save my life. But yeah, they're
like it might be right. They have little like yellow stripes on the side of their head.
Yeah, they're red or yellow on the ones that we have.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they come in multiple different colors. Although there are images that I'm looking at of actual turtles that have been painted. So
Jesus.
like the shell.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I said, that might just be something they call them back east where I was, upstate New York where I was from. Because they used to catch them all the fucking time back there.
Yeah, I don't think we have turtles this colorful on the West Coast for sure.
Yeah. Well, especially here in the desert, and anything that lives here is going to be that fucking, drab tan color or whatever.
Well, we're not quite in the desert where I am, but yeah, Southern California's probably got a bunch of those drab tan colored turtles. Although for fucking, they might have imported real Ninja Turtles there. Because it's Hollywood area,
Yeah. Yeah.
Red-eared sliders. This was his suggestion.
Yeah, that sounds right, dude. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna look up pictures and see if they kind of match it. What was it? Something sliders?
Red-eared slider.
Yeah, that does sound right, dude. Okay.
Oh, that I see what he's saying. Yeah, that actually sounds about right. It looks much more real what you're talking about than the painted turtles.
All right. Yeah, yes, that is definitely it, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that mean they're like really tasty?
As soon as you said the slider thing, I'm like, I know it's something slider, dude. So yeah.
Is it like, are they super tasty? That's why they call them sliders.
Yeah. Good you just put them right in the fucking bun, dude. It's fucking adorable little turtle. Too bad
adorable,
they're delicious.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious. We're slowly. We put a deck in our front yard because the house backs up to a freeway. And so obviously, you don't want to put a big deck in your backyard and hang out there all the time because it's just fucking traffic noise all the time.
Just watch the fucking traffic go by.
Getting those posts lined up, all the support posts, man, I'll tell you, that's got to be on par with digging that hole for the thing where you're like, God damn it, these should all be in a straight line. We used these fucking posts with the cord and we fucking leveled everything and it's still not right.
Yeah, it's a fucking pain, man. Yeah, and that's the thing with the one that I have is that we got is like even the sides are not like just kind of rounded off. Like there's like a section where it kind of goes out, goes back in, and then goes out again, like almost looks like two little camel humps on one side. It's unnecessarily wavy, I guess I would say. Like it should just be a fucking smooth circle, But they had to make it fucking
be as cool looking, and it wouldn't have cost you as much money.
Yeah, this is true. Yep, you got to pay for those extra features, the little frilly shit.
Yeah, the stuff that makes it take like an extra fucking hour to put in the yard.
Dude, it was such a fucking pain, dude. Yeah, and then we finally get done, and then there's sections where we, took too much off, so we're kind of like dumping dirt back into those areas, to try to fucking get it or keep it in place.
Oh yeah, eventually you're gonna have to like soak the ground around it just to make sure that dirt like settles back in right and everything.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about it sinking in too far, dude. But we'll see. We'll fix it whenever it happens.
Yeah, wouldn't that suck? You get it all settled back into the dirt, and then like a week or two later, you got to dig the whole thing back out.
Oh my god!
And then layer the bottom with like gravel or something if I can keep it from sinking so far, and then
Yeah, fuck that. I'll fucking feed those turtles to the dogs before I do that shit again, dude. All right, not really, but I would not. I would not be happy having to fucking do that shit again, dude.
Oh, I'm just trying to make you worried. I don't think that's likely. I just wanted to fuck with you a little.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Did you watch YouTube videos on how you'd have before you did it? That's odd. You know, it's funny, but that's probably the proper way to do fucking everything now.
I actually didn't. I probably should have.
For the kids out there, you should probably fucking watch YouTube videos on how to eat pussy before you eat pussy. Like, I mean, there's nothing that YouTube is not going to teach you to do better.
Yeah. Whatever it is, man, there are going to be thousands of videos for you to watch and figure out
how to eat food, how to drink water.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh no, so I had fun. I had fun at work this week because the same client that was suicidal the last time I worked there was suicidal again. And the last time I came in, so I get to work and they're like, oh, you have to do hourly safety checks. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sucks, but it's part of my job. When did you guys figure that one out? And they're like, oh, around 3 or 4. And I'm like, well, why did nobody call me?
Jesus.
Give me a fucking heads up. You know, I'd love to know that I'm going to be staying awake all night at a job I normally sleep at, so I know to bring some fucking lunch, stuff to do. And these assholes didn't call me, and then fucking they did it again. They didn't even call me after I left the big old note in the fucking communications log. It was really not cool. I was very unhappy.
That's fucking ridiculous, dude. You can't give you a fucking heads up, dude. Just like, hey, this is going on, so be prepared.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, hey, man, you know what? Staying up all night once in a while, that's part of my job. If this guy's having suicidal issues to the point where we need to be doing hourly safety checks on a regular basis every couple of weeks, probably means he's not going to be at the program much longer.
Right.
We can't keep doing that. That's not really what we're there for. It's not safe.
Yeah. He's got to be in a fucking a facility, like a mental facility, right? Well,
in this particular case, this guy just is trying to get out of taking his meds, most likely. I don't know if you're familiar with how people in prison try to get out of being in prison. They'll try to pretend they're crazy and shit. This dude is legit crazy. Don't get me wrong, but he's doing the same kind of stuff where he'll just be laying in the fetal position, naked in bed, and all that kind of nonsense. To just try to be super dramatic and I'm too crazy. I need to stop taking my meds, kind of thing. Which is, he is legitimately mentally ill, so that's just going to be the opposite effect.
Right. No, that means you should take more, motherfucker. How do you think you're going to get out of taking your meds by acting crazier?
Well, it's fairly common for people once they've been compensated on medication to decide that they don't actually need it. This has all been a horrible mistake, and they're just fine.
Right.
They don't realize that that's the medication that's making them feel fine. And as much as the side effects are awful, and they're fucking terrible. That it's a million times better than if they're not taking them. So
no, I can imagine, man. If I had to take Seroquel or whatever daily, oh my god, I would do pretty much anything I fucking had to try to stop taking that, because holy shit, does that kick my fucking ass, dude. I don't think I've taken anything that makes me as drowsy as fucking Seroquel.
Doing the stuff that we do potentially could get people to a situation where they can take less meds and manage more of the symptoms themselves. Right. If they were to commit to doing the symptom management and the program and stuff like that, and working with their psychiatrist, and potentially going out and seeking low cost or free therapy that they can get. Doing those kind of things could potentially get them to a point where they would be taking less medications, and in a lot of cases, potentially not taking medications at all and just managing their symptoms. And in a lot of cases, it's just you're gonna have to take the meds forever. So I mean, it's it's a crapshoot as far as that goes. But you can infinitely increase your quality of life either way. Even if you still have to take the meds, learning symptom management will make it a lot easier to handle everything.
Yeah.
either way. So, but
Right.
yeah, they just, a lot of people just don't want to commit to that because they just don't want to deal with the awful reality of it.
Mm.
And so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Or they prefer doing meth to control their symptoms.
Right. Yeah. No, well, for me, yeah, I'm bipolar. Obviously drinking or fucking taking drugs was the way I regulated for quite a fucking long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to just deal with it.
Well, and then,
like I said, I can manage
some
to do it
people
without taking meds, but it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I had a good friend of mine. Like this dude and I were like brothers, like really good friend for years and years and years. And unfortunately, we drifted apart because he at one point later, like in his early 20s, he started getting to the point where he was getting extreme bipolar.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm talking bipolar to the point where he was like planning out like fucking heists at companies that he didn't like working for. That he used to work for and was like mad at because he now that he had moved on. So he wanted to plan a heist, and he would like buy the parts for the costumes and shit before his manic phase would pass. And this dude was like straight up, oh, you know what? I've heard you can handle this by just taking really big doses of fish oil.
Wow.
And stuff. And I'm just like, yo, dude, I can't go down that road with you. Like, I definitely want to help, but that's not a fucking road I'm going down.
Yeah, that's
like I work in mental health. I know exactly what's going to happen. Just not interested in dealing with that. Can't do it at work and in my personal life.
Yeah,
no, I can give you advice, but I can't hang with that. You're gonna just ignore your symptoms and hope they go away, essentially, or like treat them with witch doctor fucking medicine.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, see, I hear shit like that, and I never got that bad. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where I was fucking doing that kind of shit. So I guess I don't know if there's I don't know if you'd want to call it a mild form of bipolar, but if there is, I guess that's what I got.
Yeah. Bipolar comes in all different like mild, really severe, like in different levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt's got bipolar similar to what you've got, where she can manage it without having to take like the pills, I think. So like it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I have to do like meditation and just kind of constantly be aware of my mood and make sure I don't get not only too low, but even too high can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to be too fucking manic, dude.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy was planning out how to rob a fucking like phone company.
Yeah, all excited and fucking totally into this thing.
I don't know what he thought he was going to get, like some fucking copper wiring or something. I mean,
right.
The slush fund for the fucking secretary. I mean,
damn, dude.
Dude was brilliant.
You don't know what you're taking. Yeah. What was that? I'm sorry.
Well, I said, dude was brilliant when it came to mathematics and computers, though. This motherfucker slept through electronics engineering and like advanced computers. And came out with like a 4.5 GPA.
God damn.
From fucking UC Davis. Just
Yeah, that seems to be the way, man. Like if they have the bipolar thing, there's usually something that they're really fucking good at.
I blame
not me though, or at least I haven't figured it out yet.
And I think I can trace the bipolar to one incident. His mom is like a super hypochondriac, like not hypochondriac, but like basically has made herself so sick that she needs attention all the time.
Oh wow!
And at one point, he was reaching into the fridge to get something to drink, and she had left her enema bag in there, her used enema bag.
No, Jesus!
And he got that and like I think poured it in the glass or something. So I think that's probably what made it bipolar for sure.
Eesh, that's fucking horrible.
Fucking gross. Huh?
Nah.
God, man. That's not as bad. That's actually worse than if you like the kid that finds like mom's vibrator and it's running around fucking swinging it like a sword or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's some fucked up shit, man.
Oh man, I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, poor peoples.
Yep. Well, he's the one. Like I knew his aunt had was one of those welfare moms who had like 15 kids.
Oh, right.
Even the ones that like just keep having more and more kids to get bigger and bigger welfare checks.
Yeah.
So it was always interesting going over to his place because his mom and his aunt lived right next door to each other. Like they owned the two houses there. Yeah, it's a trip. And then so you pull up and there'd be like just a ton of little kids running around the yard, and I was always amazed that he knew all their names.
Right.
And I'd have just started numbering the fuckers, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
at a certain point, you're number
like,
7. You know,
like there's no way I'm remembering all your names. So
look, 7, 8, 9. What's up?
And just start fucking calling them out, like, "Hey, blonde-haired kid, fucking."
Oh, they were all
that's
little
your name
blonde-haired
now.
kids.
Right.
Every single one of them was a little blonde-haired kid, man.
Little fucking Aryan Nation babies.
Hey, little Hitler, come on over here. I got a question for you.
Damn.
Oh man. Oh, dude, I did the nerdiest thing. So my birthday was Friday, and
happy birthday!
Yay! I didn't die another year. Woo-hoo.
Right.
And at 38, it's really not as entertaining as it was at like 20.
Yeah. 21, I think, is the last good birthday, dude. I mean,
25.
Yeah, 25.
You can rent cars.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I think that's the last big thing. It's 25, and I think you also get a big discount on insurance after 25.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the insurance thing is definitely true.
But so I made what are called slutty brownies, which I fucking don't particularly care for the name.
Right.
Not because I like, oh, it's lame. It's just I don't want to assume I don't want slutty associated with food. I don't know why. To me, it feels like I'm eating like gonorrhea or something. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, these brownies taste like herpes.
Yeah, exactly. But what there is, it's you layer chocolate chip cookie dough on the bottom. I was thinking of this because I know you're a big fan of the sweets, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you put Oreos on top of you put a layer of Oreos down, and then you pour a layer of brownie dough or brownie batter over the top, and you bake it off. And it's chocolate chip cookie Oreo brownie thing.
Man, that is fucking. Man, that's almost too much for me. That's fucking a lot of sweets.
Oh, man. I was looking at recipes of it, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it," and I did, and it was way too much sugar. Like it was good, but like I'm just not a fan of that much sugar.
Yeah, Well, yeah, I can usually eat shit like that, but I have to have a fucking ton of milk, dude.
I think if I ever did it again, I'd do it in like a muffin tin. So there was little ones, like just a little bit bigger around than an Oreo.
Oh, right.
As opposed to like a big cake-sized one, because I was thinking, oh, I'm making a birthday cake. I'll just make like a cake because it's 5 people all told that are going to be eating on this thing.
Yeah.
But that thing must have weighed like 4 pounds.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, that's not
super thick.
But yeah, that was entertaining. But then I went and after dinner and all that shit, I went and had I went and did VR karaoke again because I'm like addicted to this virtual reality karaoke. But apparently, Friday and Saturday nights are the worst nights to do it.
Oh, really?
That's when all the assholes are on. So you get like they literally go and switch the song every like 10 seconds.
No, jeez.
So every 10 seconds, the song just switches again and again and again. And then some asshole kid came up and was telling this girl like, "Oh, your voice is squeaking. It sounds like shit. You should leave."
God damn.
So I just walked over. I'm like, "Man, you were so cool. I want to be like you when I grow up."
Right. Yeah. Fucking tearing people down for their fucking voices. Yeah, especially in something where it's not supposed to be good anyway.
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's the whole fucking
contest. You're all standing around having fun butchering songs, like nobody's singing well.
Some fucking Brad who thinks he's fucking Simon Cowell or something.
It was pretty funny. You could tell it was like some 13 or 14-year-old. That's why that's as far as I went. I didn't go over and be like, look, fucko. Just read him a
Right.
riot act or some shit.
Mm.
Just like, this dude needs to hear from an adult male that that's not cool. So I went over and I was just like super sarcastic, like, yeah, dude, you're super cool. I want to be like you.
Yeah.
And then he
Fucking-
didn't do anything else. He was done after that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the way, man. They usually call them on their shit or actually confront them, dude, and they'll fucking back down, dude.
Well, and especially with kids like that, like if you can tell it's like a teenager, like they that's what they want. They want.
Mm.
They want those boundaries. They need to have somebody like point out, like, hey, this is too far.
Right, right.
You know, and then they'll act out until they get it.
Right. Yeah. They'll get away with what they can get away with. You got to fucking, again, like you said, set the boundaries, dude.
Yeah. And you can always tell when the boundaries have been set too far or not too far.
Mm.
Because if the boundaries are set well, the kid's going to be happy. If the boundaries are set way too fucking tight, unless there's something like severe, like specific instance.
Right.
If you set the boundaries way too close, like you're way too strict, then the kid's like unhappy all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough kind of balance you got to strike between the two. You can't be overly permissive, but you can't be overly strict because that'll fuck them up too.
Yeah. Well, and you also need like a good culture, society, group of people outside of the house that are also sort of at least semi-reinforcing those boundaries.
Right, right.
You know, like I ran into this kid on you know, a video game where presumably his parents have no idea what's going on, and he got put in check by another adult male somewhere out in the world who was like, yeah, too far, kid, which I assume his parents would say if they were there or something like that. I would hope. These days, who fucking knows, right?
Yeah, nowadays you really don't fucking know because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of parenting going on anywhere anymore, man.
It really, it is a little disturbing. But like, that's like, I was just thinking about like, it's interesting how like, because I wasn't the only one that had anything to say, and it's like how this weird VR thing is kind of fulfilling a gap in the real world a little bit.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You know, people are getting a chance to test out like just how to be social with people, how to conversate, how to like, you know, interact, and what is and isn't too far, learning the boundaries of what people will tolerate from you as far as behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, it's almost like practice, like especially for, again, like you said, young kids. It's almost like practice for the fucking real world.
You get to learn what gives you positive attention and what gets you negative attention.
Yeah, and it's something that's going to be, you know, objective as opposed to your parents who are going to be, you know, no matter what, they're going to be biased one way or the other. You know what I mean? When it comes to their kids, so you know they're kind of getting feedback from people who are, you know, going to be most likely be objective about it.
Well, I mean, we always knew. I think everybody knew at least one kid in high school whose parents really just didn't give a shit, and that kid got to do whatever he wanted at home, and was just out of control at school. And we also knew that kid in high school. Like I knew one that he got grounded for anything less than an A.
Oh wow!
So if he got like a B on a test or like a homework assignment, he was grounded for like a week.
Yeah.
You know what that guy does?
Yeah, what?
That guy's a bricklayer.
Wow.
He didn't do anything with education. He didn't go anywhere after, like, he didn't go to any kind of college after high school. And he got amazing grades, obviously. But yeah, he immediately, like, after high school, he, like, basically moved out and started laying bricks and found out he really enjoyed it. So I guess that was a big for the parents who were probably hoping he'd be, like, some sort of fucking engineer or something.
Right. But yeah, well, it could also be like, you know, that kind of shuts you down where you're not I'm trying to think of how to word it. You know, where you're not really allowed to express yourself, and you're not really allowed to. It's almost like you don't learn to think for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have people that are overbearing like that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeesh.
you become it's abusive in the sense that your world revolves around meeting their expectations, so you don't learn what your own expectations are.
Right, right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely get what you're saying. But
Well, then you
yeah.
also don't know how to deal with failure because their response is so extreme to something that really isn't technically a failure. Getting a
Right.
B instead of an A isn't like a fucking terrible thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you say, all right, I should have worked a little harder. I probably could have gotten that A.
Right.
And so, you're like, okay, I'm gonna study like an extra 15 or 20 minutes on the next time I take a test or something.
Yeah.
But or an extra couple of hours or whatever it is that however you work it out.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're grounded for like a week every time you get a B, you're gonna have an inflated sense of what failure is, to the point where, like, how are
Yeah.
you gonna handle the fucking world outside of your parents' house
Yeah.
if you're mentally keyed up that any kind of, even just a small not success in a greater success, like you didn't succeed as well as you had planned on, is gonna feel like a failure, like an awful, like you've completely failed.
Yeah, it's like any mistake you make is horrendous.
Yeah, it's amplified.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so yeah, it's really fucked up, man.
Well, he was a smart
Kind of
kid,
hard.
and so I ran into him like a couple of years after high school, and he was like he totally gotten past that shit, but still, I'm sure it was a fucking adjustment for at least a year or two.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be tough getting out into the real world after that. Being raised like that, man.
Oh yeah,
Where people aren't fucking freaking out just because you made a minor error.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay. I thought for sure you were gonna send me home because I copied the wrong thing, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, like
You
your
know?
first day on the job making sales, and you get like $9,000 worth of sales for the week or month or whatever, instead of like 10,000.
Right.
You don't reach the $10,000 target, but you reach like 950 or $9,500 in sales or something. I mean, your boss isn't going to fire you for that.
Right, right.
World, he's just going to be like, all right, well, we need to get out there and sell harder. We want to make this target, but they're
Yeah,
not going to fire you.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna take a while just being fucking deathly afraid of any kind of failure, man. Jesus, what a
Can
fucked
you
up way
imagine
to.
asking a girl out? It's like she says yes, or you might as well kill yourself.
Right.
Fucking.
Yeah, yeah. You'd fucking never even want to fucking try. Jesus Christ. Man, fuck that.
Man. I gotta hope for most people in that situation that the equilibrium, once the parents are no longer completely in control, is quick to reestablish, because hopefully you've seen other people model like the reality. So like, it's not like you have no idea. It's just you're in an artificial set of circumstances.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I would imagine, you definitely have other examples of, as you're growing up. I guess you would, hanging out at a friend's house or whatever.
Yeah.
You would notice a difference.
Your friend spills a soda on the carpet and their parents don't beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, they just have them clean it up and that's it.
Like, oh, that's what normal is. That seems so much better.
Right. Oh man, yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely tough, man. Like you said with my son, it's hard to walk that line of again being too strict, not being strict enough. But he seems to be all right. Like I give him shit for his grades, but I don't. It's not to a super extreme. Like I just limit his time, watching TV or playing the game. You know,
Right.
do that kind of
Pretty
shit.
Pretty standard stuff. You gotta be like, all right, all this shit that's distracting you.
Yeah, and I've kind of given them the leeway of not freaking out about it. And I've kind of been telling them all along. I'm like, all right, it's junior high. This is kind of like your practice. Like, you better be getting this right. You know, be working towards it and be getting it right by the time you get into high school. You know, and he has been. Like his last progress report, he actually brought it home. Like it's not one that they normally give out. He requested it because it was all A's and B's at this point.
That's not bad.
And I was like, all right, yeah, keep it up. Yeah. But then I'm always kind of nervous because he's brought him up before, and then as soon as I lift any of the restrictions, the fucking grades start dropping again.
So he's still in that phase of learning how to set his own limits.
Yeah. But I think he finally gets it. So
like managing time and stuff. That's a tough one to learn when you're a kid.
Right.
It's really easy to be like, oh, I'll just do the homework in like 2 hours, and then you're like, oh crap, I don't really have that much time now. I had no idea how long this assignment was going to take. I should have done this first, you know.
Yeah.
Sort of like when you're eating a meal, it's like, all right, do you eat the vegetables first, or do you eat the meat or the starch or whatever?
Yeah, right.
It's like if you're smart, well, at least for me, it was always like eat the vegetables first because they're not as good as all the other. Like they're not bad. I never was like, oh, these are awful. Well, I'm sure when I was like super little, but man, cold broccoli versus warm broccoli, like cold broccoli is not very good compared.
Right. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, this is turning into like the weirdest podcast ever.
Yeah, we're really harping on this shit. We need a subject change with no segues.
Oh, the fucking Waffle House shooting. So some dude went into a Waffle House with an AR-15 and just shooting the place up, killing people.
Holy shit!
And when he went to reload, some other dude jumped him and took the gun away. Managed to get the gun out of his hands. Burned his hands real bad on the gun because, as you know, when you shoot a gun a lot, it gets real hot.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's fucking using this to argue gun control.
Jesus, dude.
Like, well, look, it was a good guy without a gun that saved the day. Yeah, but if he had a gun, he would have been able to do it much easier, and he wouldn't have had to risk his life, as it wouldn't have been as dangerous. He could have saved more people earlier, and blah blah blah. And it's like, the guy's a hero. Like, this really doesn't have anything to do with gun control. Like on either side.
Dude, that's the most frustrating part about all this shit is they always want to turn it to that, and they're like, dude, it's pretty much almost invariably mental health is way more of the issue than the fucking gun is.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
If that guy,
I just feel bad for this dude who went and did this amazing thing, and now everybody's shitting all over it on both sides of the fucking fence. Like,
yeah, can't just acknowledge the fact that dude's a fucking dude, an actual hero.
He specifically says, like, I don't want to be called a hero. This was fight or flight. This is all an adrenal response. I just figured if he was going to kill me anyway, I might as well make him work for it.
Well, whatever.
This is like a genuinely good dude.
Yeah, he doesn't even want the label that he has totally fucking earned.
Exactly, yeah. Like, he legitimately is like a decent human being who really is a hero. And everybody's just turning it into this political bullshit fest. It's like, oh, fuck all of you.
Yeah, that's what happens all the fucking time, dude. It's so fucking frustrating, man. It's like, dude, you know, I think everyone fucking knows. Well, maybe they don't. I don't know. But, like, dude, it's... Okay, let's say the guy couldn't get a hold of a gun. You know, what if instead of the fucking gun, he builds a huge fucking explosive device and blows up an entire fucking block or something?
You mean like the Boston marathon bombers?
Right?
You know,
yeah,
they built a bunch of fucking pressure cooker bombs and took out a bunch of people that way.
Yeah, or the Oklahoma City Timothy McVeigh bombings, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, same thing. Yeah.
So it's not like these people aren't gonna fucking do something anyway, you know? Like, you should be focusing on again, the mental health shit and getting people help when they so fucking obviously need it.
Yeah, the problem is mass murder. The problem isn't mass shootings, because mass shootings is only one very small, extremely flashy and well known, but very small aspect of a larger issue.
Yeah, yeah.
It's why do people decide that they have the right and that they should do an act that kills a whole lot of people they don't even really know.
Yeah, yeah, that are not responsible for whatever their situation is.
Yeah.
You
Like
know.
that's the real crux of the issue, is like how do we figure out who those people are who are on that edge or who are over that edge before they enact whatever sort of weird vengeance or thing that they figured out.
Yeah, because I assume for most of them they kind of blame society as a whole. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's why they don't care who they fucking kill.
The school shooter that they caught before he became a school shooter, because his notebook really clearly outlines that he was planning on. He got to the point where everybody just filled him with disgust. Like he was just disgusted by everybody. And it was all over this one girl dumping him.
Wow.
So like a girl dumped him and he fucking basically had a psychotic break.
Right.
And went into a tailspin where it was everybody's fault but his own.
Right.
And there were all these disgusting people that needed to just be eliminated so he would stop being in pain.
Wow. Eesh. Yeah, that's fucking harsh, dude.
Yeah,
that's fucking really screwed up.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you in this case, they found him. They got him before he could do anything, and they could get this kid help, and maybe potentially, this is resolved, because it's not really sociopathy. It's an entirely different thing.
Right.
So maybe potentially these people could be helped before they even get to that point. And we would know who the people are who have that potential, so we could be like, checking in on them occasionally.
Right.
Have a record so that we're like, okay, this person meets this particular criteria. We need to keep an eye on them because they're, potentially very dangerous.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see them actually start addressing that instead of going right to the fucking political bullshit, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or if they're gonna go to political bullshit that matters. Like, we need more funding for for mental health in this country. We need to stop cutting funds for the mental institutions. We need to change the laws on 48-hour holds or 72-hour holds. We need to figure out like how to adjust that criteria to work to get the people who really are dangerous off the streets. Basically, unfeminism is the mental health system, because there's a lot of feminization of the mental health system that's really unfortunate. Not everybody can be fixed. Not everybody deserves a second chance to be out on the street.
Yeah, no, it's harsh, but you've got to live in fucking reality, man.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is they and this is kind of my view of pretty much all leftists, really, not necessarily all liberals, but all leftists seem to have this vision of what they think the world should be like, which is not realistic. But they want to like legislate and run the world like that is how it is.
Yeah, they can somehow make the laws force fairness into reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, life is never going to be fair. Like, we're not all born like fucking Barbie and Ken.
Yeah.
So
it's just a lack of pragmatism, dude. It's just a complete lack of pragmatism, dude.
Yeah. Well, and why should the guy who spends 12 years in school to become a doctor or a surgeon not enjoy the fruits of that work and that labor?
Right.
Why should that guy be forced to pay so much in taxes, because a lot of the left eventually is like goes towards socialism and communism. So we're obviously taking it to an extreme here.
Right.
Why should that guy be paying so much taxes that he's essentially living like the guy who's, working a 9 to 5 in a corporate office making like half the money? I mean, that's not very reasonable.
Right. Yeah. No, it's bizarre to me, that mindset, man, that they can, I think all of us, I forget who the saying was, that was, if you're not a liberal in your 20s, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative in your 40s, you have no brain. I can't remember who the saying was.
But, I think that's Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder or something.
No, it's been around longer than that.
It's been around longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've heard them both say it a lot. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a common saying, but yeah, not theirs. Not theirs originally. I think it's been around for like decades, that saying. Okay, I was thinking Churchill, but that probably isn't right.
It's probably like Ben Franklin.
Right,
he was pretty gangster.
Yeah, he definitely had he had a few good truisms or sayings. Yeah,
drink beer, get bitches, right?
Yeah, beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. I think that was Ben Franklin.
Yeah, it's like I'm totally fine with paying taxes for, the police, the firemen, the ambulances, the safety net for people that just, have an unfortunate set of circumstances. But I'm not down with, Obama giving ISIS like fucking $100 million.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I don't understand
some of my money going there, and I'm not okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I still kind of suspect. I know it's fucking conspiracy tinfoil hat shit, but I still think he was a fucking closet Muslim, dude. I still think Obama was a closet Muslim, dude.
Barack Hussein Obama, a closet Muslim? That's so weird. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's conspiracy. I think it's just reality.
Yeah. Well, people think you're fucking crazy if you fucking say it, dude. But you're like, dude, look what, just judge by his actions. Take everything else out of it. If it wasn't Obama doing it, if it was just a whatever random fucking person, you would say, hey, that person's almost certainly a fucking Muslim.
Well, he gave so much more money to Islamic causes and terrorist organizations than any other president.
Right.
Before him. I mean, he increased the spending so ridiculously. It was like...
Yeah, and why the fuck would you give ISIS anything? Was it supposed to be to placate them? Because
it's essentially what the sell is. That's always what the sell is.
Right.
Like with North Korea, we give them money so that they don't attack us. Like, how are they going to attack us?
Right.
What are they going to send a fucking donkey over? I mean, I'm not worried, really. We have the best military in the world. If they make it to our shores, something is going very, very wrong.
Right. Yeah, considering the whole apparatus we have set up, not even just the military, but intelligence, all that shit. Yeah, they're not an actual threat, dude.
When there's a certain amount of money that has to be given to OPEC countries.
Right.
And it's mostly in like the ridiculous amounts that we spend on like barrels of oil.
Right.
But that realistically, what we should have been doing all this time is getting off of that, making that as small of an amount of resources we could possibly make it.
Right.
Like, and that's not just Republicans or Democrats. That's all the politicians have been in the pockets of OPEC for a long time.
Right.
But that's where a lot of the money gets funneled from to terrorist organizations. I think it's Saudi Arabia is Wahhabist Islam, which is the terrorist mentality, kind of is on the let's take over the world Islam.
Yeah. Which honestly, I think most of Islam is that, dude. I mean, that's kind of how Muhammad operated, and kind of what he preached as far as taking over. You know, if you're in the minority, behave and claim that you're the religion of peace. You know, once you get to be the majority, or at least a sizable enough minority, you know, you start lording it over people. You know, once you're in charge,
then you start taking over and forcing your beliefs, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they've fucking done it, you know, pretty much everywhere. And then people don't want to believe that they would do that anywhere else. It's like, dude, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's like you can literally judge by the actions over and over and over throughout history. It's never been different than that.
Yeah, that has been the blueprint, or whatever you want to call it, for them forever.
Exactly, yeah. And so it's bizarre that like we want to pretend that that's not the case. But we need OPEC, we need the oil right now. You know, our shipping and our industry basically relies a lot on oil.
Right.
So hopefully at some point we'll oh god, Twitter, you so bad. I always look for like breaking news and shit on Twitter, just scan through it occasionally.
Right.
Hopefully at some point we'll get to the point where people are willing to put enough pressure on the government to be like, can we get off of like relying on gas for all of our transportation?
Yeah.
And you know, burning oil and coal for all of our electricity. Like we have all these other options to, you know, generate electricity. And you know, there's people out there that say like, oh well, solar is not the solution to all our problems. Are absolutely correct. Solar will not solve all of our power needs. However, there are dozens of other options that can be used in all sorts of other areas, like geothermal, wind power, lunar power, tidal.
Or the tides.
Actually, use the tides. You know, all these different options to make electricity that don't involve using like coal and oil and all that shit. And let's try some of those.
Right. Yeah, can you imagine where those technologies would be if they had been investing in advancing those technologies like the last 50 fucking years?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, if your car, like your electric vehicle, had two little ports similar to jets, you know, like jets, they have the little built-in like tubes that run the air through. If you had two similar tubes where you had little turbines inside that were generating electricity, like regaining electricity from the movement of the vehicle by getting power from the wind going through.
Right.
Like, how much longer could that car run off of a set of batteries if you were getting that charge every time you were moving, plus you were recouping power each time you brake and all that other stuff?
Yeah. No, it's like you said, it's not only the OPEC, but then the gas and oil companies here, you know, make a fucking ton of money, dude. So obviously they have a lot of money to throw at the politicians. So they've really kept all that technology down, man.
Well, and why not put, you know, a bunch of solar panels on all the gas stations to help offset the cost of the, you know, like the government, like, because the government helped build the gas stations in the first place. Like most of the gas stations were built like with a lot of subsidies when initially cars were becoming a thing and being used more often in more industry.
Right.
So why not, you know, make subsidies to get like all these gas stations, solar power panels on the roofs, and set up better charging stations and quicker charging stations for electric vehicles in more places.
Right. And they are becoming more, you know, common, you know, but still they're not where they should be at this point, you know.
But with government assistance, they could be way more common.
Right. Yeah, they could roll it out in a couple fucking years, you know. Enough.
And why are we not using more ethanol and methanol? You know, not only are they more cost effective, but they would bring more industry to the U.S. because we grow all sorts of corn that we don't use for anything but sugar now. There's no reason not to start making ethanol and just going back to having sugar in most of our food instead of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
use that to run a lot more, the bigger trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or I remember I saw one thing about a dude that was getting some kind of biofuel from algae.
Yeah.
That was actually like really efficient and really
Um,
clean. It was well, not efficient, but I mean, like, like if you put it in the car, it would actually perform better. The process wasn't that efficient yet, and but
yeah, yeah.
again, not that much money is being put into shit like that.
Well, there's a similar thing where this guy has created a system that uses like the breaking down of food and like special algae and enzymes and bacterias to generate all the fuel you need to cook
All
right
right.
there in like your garbage. So essentially, it's like a big tank that you dump all your stuff in the bottom. It doesn't. There's no smell associated. You get like liquid fertilizer essentially out of it, and you also get
Hmm.
uh, vapor that's odorless and totally clean burning to power like your stove.
All right.
So all you would have to do is basically just stick a little thing out in your backyard that's the size of maybe like 2 shopping carts put together.
Right.
Dump all your kitchen scraps, your vegetable, meat, bone, all the food scraps in your kitchen. Dump it in this thing, and then you get free gas for cooking.
Right.
I think it generates on average, like the average household generates like something like 5 hours of gas a day.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's more than enough to cook, pretty much anything you're making.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, man. Yeah. But again, a lot of that shit has been uh, kind of suppressed, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he right now the company sells it and mostly takes most of their profits and puts units in third world countries.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
So somebody over here buys one because they're a hipster, and somebody in the third world gets one as well, or something like that. Is essentially the way they've got it set up.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah,
So,
that's pretty cool.
and but unfortunately, I think there's a lot of not a lot of people are willing to like collect their own like food garbage and take it outside each night.
Yeah,
So, like,
right.
that's the real downside to it is like people aren't willing to do that. But potentially if you put a situation where like the dump collected food waste in like a separate bin, and then that food waste was used on a much more massive scale to generate the clean burning odorless fuel, and then that was sent out for people who are cooking,
Right.
you would potentially lessen your need to do like fracking and get natural gas.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how viable that is on like a large scale though. So I'll be fair on that. That might not really work large scale, but
Yeah.
I mean it's
Not
something to
yet.
look at.
Yeah, it's a technology to invest in.
Yeah.
To refine the technology.
And then we don't have to basically create like earthquake zones. With the fucking fracking,
Right.
like blowing cracks in the fucking foundations of the ground.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm just amazed that fucking it was just allowed. God damn
It
it,
makes the
dude.
water flammable. Like I can't imagine any other situation where any other private citizen would be allowed to do that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you were fucking earning money by doing that stuff in your backyard, and your neighbor was like,
Be
"Look, my
fucking
fucking
arrested.
water out of my faucet is on fire." This city would
Right.
shut your ass down in a minute.
Yeah. Spend the rest of your fucking life in jail, dude.
But these like super wealthy dudes are like, we want to do it and make lots more money. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Here's a bag of money for you.
Yeah. So it's bizarre that they don't have like some sort of check on that. Like,
Yeah.
this technology seems like it's not working right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, you would have to get the lobbyists out of fucking Washington, essentially.
Yeah.
But again, you get the fucking the Supreme Court saying that it was the Supreme Court that ruled that money is fucking free speech, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, so
and that companies are people.
shit.
The problem wasn't just that money was free speech, but that the corporations were the same as a person.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. I know, like again, when they came up with the concept of corporation, they said it was like an artificial person, but how do you make that fucking leap to, hey, now they're actually people?
Here's my concern. Here's my concern though. Why is it for only the positives? That's like similar to feminism in the respect of they want all these really good things, but the second you turn around and you're like, well, but when men die by a huge proportion higher in all these dangerous jobs that women don't work at.
Right.
By and large. So we don't need to encourage young girls to go out and work on like an oil rig.
Right.
To digging, to mining coal. We don't really want to encourage that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to encourage them to do the flashy jobs that sound cool, like engineering, computer science, and technology.
Yeah.
But we're not going to try to like increase the women working in the fucking coal mine to 50%.
Yeah, or the men working in fucking teacher jobs or nursing jobs. You know,
exactly.
They claim they were for equality. Yeah.
Or veterinary sciences.
Right.
By and large, is dominated by women.
Right. Yeah. No, they don't. They don't want any of that equal. Not bitching about that.
Yeah, they're not complaining about that. Trying to get the equality there too. So, but it's a similar thing with the corporations. Like, yeah, okay, they can donate and behave in all these ways like a person, but you don't put the entire corporation in jail when they violate the law. So, how is that reasonable?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It was essentially bought and paid for, again, because the system's so goddamn corrupt now.
And then, can we charge them taxes like for everything like they would a person?
Yeah.
Like you charge the actual corporation itself taxes.
Right.
Like income taxes of because it's a person, it should pay its own income tax. Outside of what all the other separate parts are paying, because it's allowed to pay outside of all the other separate parts are paying. It's not like when they pay, $1 million to a candidate that they go around and pass the fucking hat to all the employees.
Yeah.
They're just taking out of their profits. So why don't they literally have to pay taxes on income taxes like an actual individual as well?
Yeah. They're cherry picking essentially.
Yeah,
what they want to be considered a person for.
Yeah, so that's my problem with that. It's like, all right, well, if any laws are broken by any part of the corporation, well, the corporation is a person. The entire corporation should be liable for whatever the consequences of violating those laws are. So if that's jail time, then the entire corporation should go to jail.
Yeah,
and I'd love to see how they fucking wiggle their way out of that with fucking
right.
Like how are they going to parse that one in court? Like, well, technically, we've got all these people that are innocent. We can't just stick all the workers in there. No, I'm sorry, it's a person.
Right. Yep. You're all.
You guys agreed.
If you work there, you're going to fucking jail. You're part of the artificial person or the mega person.
Yeah, we'll build like Coca-Cola jail for Coca-Cola employees, because the corporation's there, and not only do the people have to go to jail, but all the equipment too.
Right.
That's part of the corporation, and the corporation's a person, so we're also gonna have to move all the buildings to jail. I mean, like, how fucking ridiculous can you make it? Like, because if you can't apply the logic in every possible respect, then it's not logic.
Like, all right, we're gonna fucking just put barbed wire around all your fucking factories.
Because all your factories are in jail right now. You're all under arrest.
Right. Damn.
I think that'd be fucking hilarious with like Monsanto, because they'd have to fucking arrest all those wheat fields and rice fields and corn fields and shit.
Right.
Fucking how much land would be in jail?
I can't get the cuffs on this fucking cornfield.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Boss, we're going to need bigger handcuffs. That corn silo, these just don't fit. Yeah.
Damn.
And then how many people starve worldwide because, we can't release any of the wheat because it's all been arrested and it's doing time.
Right. All literally rotting away in prison.
Well, actually, wheat berries are virtually, if stored properly, like in a cool, dry place, virtually will never spoil.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for pointing that out, dude.
It's the same thing with rice and corn. Mm-hmm. In its most natural state, once you've dried it out, you can store it for virtually forever and it'll be fine. They've actually planted wheat from hundreds or if not thousands of years ago and had it grow.
Wow, that's freaking nuts.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. You got to remember, though, I'm a prepper, so anytime that kind of shit comes up, I know.
You've done the research.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, you look at you want to have emergency stuff on hand if there's a fire or an earthquake or something. And hey, the fucking city I was in burned down half of it. So obviously I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
But you don't want to sit there and buy food that's going to last for a week and have to constantly recycle or repurchase and be cycling the same things through over and over and over.
Right.
So you want stuff that's going to last if the power goes out, you don't have refrigeration, So it's worth researching to find out the kind of stuff that you can store. I'm not storing corn and rice and fucking wheat berries. That's ridiculous.
Right.
But or beans. Beans I think you can store forever too. But honey is going to last for a really long time. Canned foods last a really long time. Freeze-dried foods last forever. So if you're going to buy something that's going to last for 5 or 6 years, then you only have to cycle it through every 5 or 6 years.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little crazy in that respect.
Yeah. No. It's actually, honestly, everyone should be prepared for that kind of shit, or at least have the knowledge to do.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of fucking things that can happen that can destroy civilization. I don't think any of us really realize it. We never think about it, but there is a lot of shit that could go wrong that could just obliterate civilization.
Yeah, I think people don't want to think about it.
It's not the happiest of topics, that's for sure.
Oh, I mean, did I tell you about the fucking Earth stopped rotating thing I watched?
I think we had talked about it.
Oh, we already talked about that. Yeah,
a little bit, but yeah, go on, dude.
Oh, it was like a National Geographic special for an hour-long special where they were like, what would happen if the world stopped spinning? And so the world stopped spinning, but slowly enough that everything didn't just go flying off into the fucking space.
Right.
And you could tell it was written by scientists because the only people that survived were scientists.
Right. Yeah.
But essentially it was you're going to only be able to grow things in very specific areas because one side's going to be 150 degrees and the other side's going to be minus 1,000 or minus 80 degrees or something ridiculously cold, and then there's going to be very small golden zones on either edge. The oceans will basically migrate from the middle of the planet to the tops and bottoms. The North and South Pole would just become giant oceans, and the seabeds would all be exposed.
All right.
And so as the world rotates around the sun, that would be essentially the only way that you get so you'd have 6-month days and 6-month nights and stuff like that. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And you really would only be able to grow things in greenhouses and stuff. But so many people would die out of just starvation and the extremes in temperature. Not being able to survive the extremes in temperature that, what technology would be left? How many people that understood, how to make a cell phone are there going to be left? because they're not really going to be a priority. Nobody's going to be thinking, man, I'm really going to want to be able to make a call from anywhere.
Right.
When it's like, I don't have any food. Who knows how to grow food?
Right.
So the people who know how to grow food are going to be the ones that people keep alive.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been bringing up. That we kind of touched on a little bit. That I'd bring it up all the time, and people would just not understand the point I was making. But I would be like, "All right, do you understand how like a radio works?" Like I would ask people that, and they would, they can kind of tell you or whatever. But I'm like, no, what I'm saying is, could you recreate a fucking radio? You know what I mean? I know you understand you read something about how fucking radio works. I'm saying, do you have, how many people actually have the technical ability to create a fucking radio?
Exactly, yeah.
That's not many.
I could probably build a really basic radio at a very small bandwidth if I had books to read like how to do it.
Right.
But I'm talking like maybe, like 2 or 3 different radio stations worth of bandwidth and not much more than that. Like, and it wouldn't work real well.
Yeah, but and I'm talking more of like, what if you had to do it from scratch? Well, and anybody would have trouble with that, I guess. Society is kind of built up over the years.
I understand. I know enough that if I had books to assist me with figuring things out, if I had books, if I didn't have books, I'm fucked. So if there's no,
I guess that was really the point I was trying to make is there's very few people on the planet that could invent radio. You know what I mean? Like it's, a few geniuses here and there pretty much responsible for fucking all of modern civilization.
You're saying like all the libraries are gone and there's no like internet, none of that stuff is here. Then I can't build a radio. No, absolutely not. I was just thinking like society breaks down, but like, some of the stuff is still there.
Right. Yeah.
No, mind you, I'm not the first person you want building the radio. There's a lot of other people that are way smarter than me that you want doing that.
Yeah, no, ditto here, man. It's this shit's fucking amazing, and people don't really think about it that much. That they can send out a fucking signal, and then it can be received. So it's, the shit's, modulated or whatever the fuck. Where it gets received somewhere else. It comes out as music or a fucking voice or whatever, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It gets translated from like a random like wave in the air of a specific frequency to meaning, fucking Britney Spears song or something.
Yeah. The technology is fucking astounding, dude. That any of that's possible is fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at like the satellite internet. Like you're beaming a fucking picture of a fucking chicken crossing the road as a joke from like a palm-sized piece of like silicone and metal up thousands of yards away to like a tower that or up into space. To a satellite that's like sending it back down to like a tower that's like sending it to somebody else's like small handheld like piece of silicone and glass and fucking metal.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing, dude. Like how the fuck I don't know, man. Maybe I should not think about this shit, but I just find it fucking amazing.
No, it is. If you think about it on the scale of history, like within the last 100 years, we've basically become fucking sorcerers.
Yeah, the shit we can do is pretty goddamn magical at this point.
We've created a device you put on your head that makes it feel and look like you're in a giant room when you're not. Right. And you can like interact with other people in this pretend space that doesn't actually exist. You can go and interact with them and like touch things and throw things back and forth and have conversations. You can go find like pretend people fucking to watch. You know, you can videotape like a snail like crawling across the floor in a certain way and like send that like images to another scientist or something so he can look at it and be like, oh, I've never seen that snail before in my life.
Yeah. Yeah,
they've figured out how to literally fuse, like bond atoms together on a singular, on an atomic level of one atom at a time. They can now bond them together.
Yeah.
They recently figured out how to do that.
Yeah, and you know, there's been shit that has actually been invented, like molecules or not molecules, but actual elements that have actually been fucking just created.
Yeah, it's insane. Like we're sorcerers.
Yeah,
some of us are more like, you know, more of a sorcerer than others. You know, like that's for sure. But
right. Yeah. There's again a few super smart sorcerers, you know, create society, our civilization, I should say, not society.
Well, you take somebody from like 100 years ago and drop them in the middle of Times Square, and they just shit their pants. You know, like it'd just be like terrifying.
Right. Yeah. It really is fucking. Yeah. No, it's and the shit's advancing faster and faster all the goddamn time. You know, I think like the space for memory, like memory cards and shit. Like it doesn't seem like that can keep getting that much better. Like, how can you keep getting way more memory into way smaller spaces? Like, there's got to be a point where they can't fucking keep getting it more efficient, but they keep doing it.
Well, like I just recently bought like these lithium AA batteries. Like they now make lithium batteries that are they last about 2.5 times the length of time that a regular battery lasts, and they weigh like 30% less. So they're lighter and they carry more.
Well, cell phones have been using the lithium-ion batteries for a long time, but
But I mean, they're now applying that to like just regular batteries.
Yeah, like regular like AA batteries and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
So let's see here. See if I can illustrate this, because I think I have an answer for why that thing works. The footage or the memory increase. Oh, here we go. Okay, so but this is battery technology, but it's a similar concept. I'm doing a screen share here. So
and I got it.
Normally, like batteries, when they first made batteries, it'd be like metal plates like this, right? And then there'd be like a whatever sort of chemical solution or something in between them that would make them create
nickel metal hydride.
Yeah, it would basically be what creates the reaction that causes electrons to flow from positive to negative or negative to positive, whichever way it goes. I can't remember offhand. I'm fucking tired right now. And so you'd get a certain amount of power for each plate, and the dimensions of everything affect the amount of power and the chemicals and the materials you use. But what they started doing with the plates is, instead of being straight, they go like this. And then you have another plate that comes up and goes like this. You actually get more surface area connected to more surface area in a smaller space. And I believe memory is a similar concept. The circuitry is just getting tucked into itself. Sort of think like how a zipper zips up.
Right.
Like that's what they're doing with the plates to make the batteries and stuff last longer and generate more power in a smaller package. And I believe they're doing similar things with the circuitry. They're just able to print it in such a smaller space that it doesn't take as big of a housing to house that kind of memory, the crazy big amounts. Wave Century says, I didn't know you were an artist.
It did kind of look like you were playing with an Etch-a-Sketch there, dude.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I'm sure somebody smarter than me could explain it a lot better, and it would make more sense if they explained it. But that's the best I can do. Is just that they're tucking it in tighter and tighter spaces and using better materials that keep it from bleeding over, so that it doesn't accidentally short out from one little section of memory to another section of memory.
Right.
Because ultimately all computer functions come down to ones and zeros.
Right.
Is it on or off? And it's just an incredibly complex collection of those. But
yeah.
I don't know where to go from there. I'm tapped out.
Dude, both of us are just fucking exhausted today, dude. Damn.
Oh yeah, well, I had to go check for berries this morning, man. We got this fucking strawberry stand that's just like between one town and the next, between my town and the next town over. And man, for $15 you can get like this giant 10-pound thing of strawberries. And they are absolutely to die for. Like you don't have to add any sweetening to these strawberries.
Yeah, they're not like overly tart like they usually are. Nice.
Not at all. And they're super they're not nearly as firm. And it's the same with all the fruit that they sell. It's different varieties that you get in the normal stores. The downside is you have to eat them within like 2 days or 3 days of when you buy them.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a downside because they're delicious. So you're going to eat them within 2 or 3 days.
Right. They ain't going to last.
Yeah. So like if you're making strawberry shortcake or something, you just have to cut them up and sit them in a bowl. You don't really have to add any sugar. You can if you want. I mean, it's only going to make it a little more sweet, but
right. But they're fantastic on their own, essentially.
Oh, they're amazing. So good. Or the blueberries. Oh my god. Do you know blueberries have flavor? Like you buy them in the store, and there's no flavor. It's just you're chewing on like little bits of fucking styrofoam that just have like a little bite to them.
Right, right.
Slight hint of blueberry like sweetness in there. But the blueberries this place sells taste like blueberries, and they're just like, oh, they're like little bursts of flavor gems. So good.
God damn. That's very poetic, dude. That sounds fantastic.
Well, it's like if this was the way all fruit tasted, like all fruit tasted the way that the stuff they grow in this little farm down there. You'd never have to try to get kids to eat fruit instead of candy.
Right.
You know, like, oh, you're hungry before dinner, have an apple. They'd be like, yay! They would never be like, oh, fucking apples suck.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
And then this place sells like every kind of fruit. But so we're just waiting, like avidly waiting for the fruit stand to open. So every couple of weeks I go down and check. So I started early. I didn't get a good night's sleep last night because I'm still adjusting from staying up all night at the fucking this guy. Because you got to, anytime somebody says they're suicidal, you have to take it seriously. And where I work, it doesn't matter if you think they are or not.
Yeah,
because it's just not worth being wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Yeah.
So I mean, I stay up all night and I do the fucking hourly checks regardless. And then fucking I'm not adjusted back, but then I just started hella early this morning, running out doing a bunch of errands, and then going out again in the afternoon and doing a bunch more errands. All sorts of shopping, going to the bank and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
So fun. Such a thrill a minute. I should have other stuff. I know I had other stuff to talk about, but I fucking can't remember it.
Oh, man. Sadly,
we've had to give up on the VR chat. I don't think that will ever be a thing.
Yeah, this fucking computer sucks, dude.
That's how it is, man. Don't. If what you got works for you, man, I'd stick with it until you have to.
Right. But still, that does look like fun, man. You know, and I'd fucking like to. Whatever.
It's a blast. It's a blast. But like, I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm sure you have other stuff you want to buy for fucking other things that matter.
A few priorities. Yeah.
Well, it's like oh, the VR set that I bought is like $300, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the other stuff is like 400 or 500, like the really good ones. And
Right.
boy, man, everybody in VR chat sure knows how I should have spent my money. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
About the Lenovo headset. Oh, you should have just got the HTC Vive, or you should have got the Oculus Rift. And I'm like, fucker, I have other things I need. Like, I need to, I need to buy a chair for my computer. I need to buy a fucking parts for my car. I need to,
Yeah. Not everyone has a shitload of disposable income, asshole.
A lot of these kids, a lot of them are kids whose parents bought that shit for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are stunned when I'm like, I'm 38. They're like, oh my God, you're so old. I'm like, oh my God, go fuck yourself, you fucking kid.
Like, you know how to use a computer? That's amazing at your age.
Yeah, it's
like, fuck you.
And they all know how I should have spent my money because they're all so much better at it.
Right.
Oh, man,
they're all so wise.
I don't take it personal because I think a lot of people do that in a lot of situations. So it's so funny that I'm recognizing it now. But I'm sure I've done it before.
Oh yeah, no, we're all, at some point, I think we mentioned it before. Everyone at a certain age, thinks we've got it all figured out, dude.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I've got it all figured out now. I just, I'm sure in 10 years I'll have changed my mind.
Yeah. Well, no, you get better about it though. You know what I mean? Like, you eventually kind of figure out, like, oh shit, I don't really, nearly as much as I thought I did.
Oh, I used to be one of those fucking storyteller people. Like you always have to one up people. You always have to one up with a better story.
Oh, you suck.
When I was like 18, 19 years old, I did that shit all the time. And I never lied. It was never untrue, although I'm sure other people don't at least make that differentiation when they're
right. Okay, that's what I thought you were saying, dude.
Oh no, I didn't lie about it, but
shit up
it's just a shitty thing to do because why do you always have to have a better story about something? You know what I mean?
Right.
If somebody's really enjoying a story and it's obvious, like they're like really proud of something or it means a lot, what's the point? Even if you do have a better story, why tell it? Like, that's silly.
Yeah, why
take their thunder?
Shit on that. Yeah. But when you're younger,
yeah, exactly. I still remember, like, I think one of the key moments in my life that really kind of like changed my perspective on how I judged other people. Not a lot, but at least a little bit, but on a fundamental level, was I met this dude when I was 18 years old, first job working at Sears Auto Center, and I met this dude, and he looks like your stereotypical nerd, big, thick bottle cap glasses, scrawny, like balding, looks like he should be like somewhere in some fucking like computer lab or something. And when I was introduced to this guy, he's one of the mechanics that worked there, and he shook my hand. It was like putting my hand in a fucking vice. And he wasn't trying. And I was just like, oh shit, I shouldn't fucking underestimate people. Like, here's this dude who's like, at least 8 inches shorter than I am and looks like he's a weak little nerdy guy. And his fucking grip is hurting my hand.
Right.
And I thought I was like Mr. Badass tough guy,
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this is a really stupid perspective. I gotta fucking change that now.
Yeah.
Did we just completely run dry at this point?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I know I'm fucking worn out and my back is fucking killing me because I did shit that, again, I shouldn't have done any of it. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, man? You want to keep going, or do you want to not keep going?
Opal's mom stole a cake from church. That's all I got.
Oh, man.
For Opal's sister, and it's not even her sister's name.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm out. I can't think of anything. And then next, and I don't think Engelhardt is coming to save us with like an hour and a half of stories from wherever that he screams at the microphone.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think we're I think we can call this one, dude. I need to get in the fucking tub and soak and then get the fucking sleep. You probably need to get to sleep as well.
Yeah, I mean, we already had to cancel one because I had to sleep all day on Thursday.
Yeah. But still, we'll just chalk it up to a bad week. We still had 2 hours. We had almost 2 hours, dude. We're fine.
we still had I was going to say, it's not like we did nothing.
Right.
All right.
So you showed up and we're like, hey, all right, we're out.
Fair enough. All right. Well, Stench Effort, thank you for joining us. And anybody who's made it this far listening to the recorded one, fucking good job, man.
Yeah. Bye-bye.